Welcome to This Explainer. Today we are taking a massive journey to explore humanity's absolute greatest challenge yet, leaving the comfort of Earth behind to actually colonize the Red Planet. For decades, the idea of living on another world was completely confined to science fiction movies. But right now, scientists and space agencies are actively working to make it a reality. We're going to break down the science, the seemingly impossible obstacles, and the sheer human ingenuity required to pull off this planetary migration. And really, in this grand endeavor, we are all just students of the universe, learning some incredibly harsh lessons from our greatest teacher yet, the Red Planet itself.
Picture this, waking up, opening your front door, and seeing an endless red desert stretching out as far as your eyes can see. No oceans, no trees, no birds, and absolutely no blue sky above you. Just red dust, towering volcanoes, and freezing cold. It really begs the ultimate question that we're tackling today. Could our species actually survive there? Could Mars truly become humanity's second home, or is it just destined to remain one of the most dangerous, uninhabitable places in our solar system?
All right, here is our game plan for this survival guide. First, we'll look at the Martian dream, then confront the lethal environment. After that, we'll dive into designing Martian habitats and growing food in space. Finally, we'll cover the long-term survival challenges and answer the big one, when do we go? Section 1, the Martian dream. Why Mars is our best candidate. We've always looked up at the stars, right? But out of all the planets in our cosmic neighborhood, Mars calls to us the absolute loudest. And what's really mind-blowing is how shockingly similar a Martian day is to our own. Coming in at exactly 24 hours and 37 minutes, it perfectly aligns with our natural human circadian rhythm. Think about that for a second. That simple, incredible fact makes Mars the most Earth-like planet we know, offering a rhythm of day and night our bodies are already completely used to. And the similarities don't just stop at the clock. Mars actually features familiar, changing seasons and polar ice caps. We can literally see majestic mountains, deep valleys, and geological evidence proving that rivers and lakes used to flow there billions of years ago. Plus, practically speaking, it's just a 6 to 9 month road trip away for our current spacecraft. Sure, it's hostile, but it absolutely offers our best shot at building a future beyond Earth. Section 2, a lethal environment, the deadly realities of the Martian surface. Okay, time for a massive reality check. Because if you were to step out onto the surface of Mars without a spacesuit, well, it would be an instantly fatal mistake. You wouldn't last more than a few seconds. The reason is pretty straightforward. The atmosphere is overwhelmingly carbon dioxide, a whopping 95% of it, with almost zero oxygen. You literally cannot breathe. To make it even worse, the air pressure is less than 1% of what we have here on Earth. Your body just couldn't function. And hey, if the suffocating air doesn't stop you, the freezing cold absolutely will. The average temperature sits at a bitter minus 63 degrees Celsius, but the true extremes are so much worse. During a harsh Martian winter, temperatures can plummet to a mind-numbing minus 125 degrees Celsius. That is minus 193 degrees Fahrenheit. On top of that, it's incredibly dry. But perhaps the most terrifying hazard is completely invisible, the total lack of a strong global magnetic field. Here on Earth, our magnetic field is like a giant protective force field. On Mars, dangerous space radiation just constantly bombards the ground. It's like stepping into an X-ray machine that never turns off. Section 3, designing Martian habitats, building our way to survival. So, the big takeaway here is that humans will never just live outside on Mars. To survive, we have to engineer our own safety. Future colonists are going to have to live in highly engineered structures, buried deep underground, or at least heavily shielded by thick layers of Martian dirt. It's a brutal lesson in humility from our planetary teacher, showing us that to survive, we literally have to hide from the Martian sky. And to keep the lights on, we'll rely on a clever mix of vast solar panels by day and heavy-duty nuclear reactors to keep things running during massive dust storms. But what about the air? We can't exactly set up an Amazon subscription for oxygen from Earth. We'll have to rely on brilliant tech, like MOXIE. This is a real experiment NASA sent on the Perseverance rover, and it is a total game changer. It successfully produced breathable oxygen by ripping it right out of the Martian carbon dioxide. It acts like a mechanical tree, inhaling CO2 and exhaling oxygen. Small, monumental successes like this prove we can literally manufacture our own air. Section 4. Growing food in space, Martian agriculture logistics. So breathing and shelter are covered, but if we're moving there, we have to eat. And again, no supply chain deliveries from Earth. We have to grow our own food.
First, we'll have to clean the soil because it's full of toxic chemicals called perchlorates. Then we tap into buried underground ice for water. And finally, we cultivate crops. Think potatoes, lettuce, tomatoes, in these highly controlled LED-lit greenhouses. Every single harvest is going to be a massive, hard-fought victory of human engineering.
Section 5. Long-term survival challenges, the unseen hurdles of colonization.
Now, even with all our high-tech habitats and glowing greenhouses, life on Mars is going to push human endurance to the absolute limit. Picture this. You face a life-or-death crisis, but a simple radio message to Earth isn't instant. It takes anywhere from 3 to 22 minutes just to travel one way. There are no quick SOS phone calls. You are entirely on your own. And then there's the gravity situation. Martian gravity is only 38% of Earth's. Now, bounding around sounds fun at first, but living in low gravity poses a massive scientific unknown. It's highly likely it will dangerously weaken our bones and muscles over a lifetime, meaning intense daily exercise won't just be a hobby, it will be strictly mandatory for basic survival. And we absolutely cannot forget the unpredictable stuff. Mars is infamous for dust storms that can literally engulf the entire planet and last for weeks. The extremely fine, abrasive dust coats everything. It blocks out the sun, severely drops our solar power, and constantly threatens to clog our vital life support machines. Section 6. When do we go? The timeline for human arrival. With all these extreme challenges, the radiation, the isolation, the toxic soil, you've got to be wondering, when are we actually going? The honest truth? No one has an exact date, but the path forward is happening right now. Our robotic rovers are basically the ultimate students right now, doing the homework, gathering the data, and learning from the Martian terrain so they can become the guides for our first astronauts. Meanwhile, agencies like NASA and companies like SpaceX are building the massive rockets needed to get us there. Many experts believe we'll see those very first human footprints on Mars within the coming decades.
Look, it is incredibly difficult, no doubt about it. But think about our history. Humanity has crossed treacherous oceans. We've scaled the highest, most unforgiving mountains. We've literally walked on the moon. Overcoming impossible environments isn't just something we do. It is hard-coded right into our DNA. Both the student and the teacher learn from every failure. And we've proven time and time again that we can adapt.
The dream of colonizing Mars is dangerous, and it is fraught with risk. But when we look up at that little red dot in the night sky, we realize it represents our absolute greatest leap forward as a species. The next great chapter of human history might just begin right there. So I've got to ask you, and leave you with this provocative thought. Knowing the lethal risks, the immense distances, and the sheer mind-boggling ingenuity required just to breathe the air, are you bold enough to embrace humanity's next great discovery? We still have so many lessons to learn, but every great discovery begins with a little curiosity. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer.